Well, this said 75%.
What do I know?
It said 75% rye, 12 to 15% bourbon, and the bourbon.
75% corn.
75% corn, 12 to 15% rye, and the residual amount barley.
Did I mention that this is like our 7th shoot?
Yeah,
today,
I can't talk in the best of times. Words and names escape me at the best of times.
Coming to you sort of live from the Beer to Whiskey Studios high atop Barley's Tap Room in wonderful downtown Greenville, South Carolina. I'm Russ Heaps, and welcome to this episode of It's Just Bourbon. And that's where we take a bottle of bourbon that we think everybody would be interested in. We sniff it, we sip it, we kibitz a little bit about it, we talk a little bit about the distillery. To be quite frank with you, we do not know a great deal about the history of bourbon and bourbon in general, but we do like to drink.
I was very afraid about what this frankness was going to lead to. Very concerned.
So I get my good buddy here, Big John Richards, and he is sort of the beer guy at Beer to Whiskey, but
the beer whisperer.
The beer whisperer. Well, I was trying to get off of that. He is a certified Cicerone, but I appreciate his palate. He's got a good palate. He's got a good nose, and I like drinking with John, so he does these with me as well as the beer episodes and the anything but bourbon episodes, and pretty much everything we do episodes. Anyway, so
don't mind me.
Yeah. So today we have a bourbon that I've been trying to score for 4 years. I've been looking for it high and low. It's one of those unicorn bourbons that is very good, and the aftermarket has, they call it the secondary market. The secondary market has just blown it out of the water in terms of price and availability. But I was down in Florida a month or so ago and had someone who did not give me this bottle, but put me in a place where I could buy this bottle.
Legally.
Yes, legally. And
everything's on the up and up.
Yeah,
There's no bootlegging or crossing state lines.
Yes, sort of. And but I was sworn to secrecy about where it came from and who this person is. But yet I want to give a shout out. So to mystery bourbon provider number 1, we salute you.
Thanks.
And having said that, this is Elmer T. Lee, one of my all-time favorite bourbons. Anytime I go someplace that has it, that's usually my first pour of bourbon will be Elmer T. Lee. It's tough to get. It's out of Buffalo Trace, which is owned by Sazerac, but it's just one of those unicorn bourbons. And Elmer T. Lee was the head distiller at Buffalo Trace, I think, for about 30 years up until about 1985. Hard to tell on screen here looking at this, but his image is actually, if you look through the bottle, whoop, don't let that go on.
Don't let it go. Don't let it go, John.
Yeah, no, that's the back label.
Yeah, his image is there. His image is on the front too.
It's on the front. No, it's on the front of the back label.
It's facing. You won't be able to see that.
Yeah, you're not.
Didn't I say that? Camera.
Didn't I say that?
I'm trying to give them the image they can see.
Oh, the little image. Okay. Yeah. Well.
It's also cloudy and behind his signature there.
Yeah.
Facing you now.
And I don't want to put too fine a point on it, but this is our 7th shoot of the day. And so
It's an adventure.
things are unraveling a little bit for us, but we're going to go ahead and go forth with this. Have you ever had this, John?
I'm not going back.
Have you ever
Oh,
had
no. God, no. I've never
Okay.
had this.
To score this, now if
I
you,
occasionally get lucky and score a good beer, but
this is, if you found that, and you can occasionally, if your timing's right, you will find this in the gift shop of Buffalo Trace. I have never been that lucky, and I've been to the Buffalo Trace distillery probably a dozen times. But I suspect in the gift shop, it's probably a $60. It's probably $60, maybe less than that. I paid $250 for this.
legally.
Yes, and legally, if you find it in the secondary market, you're going to pay that or a lot more for it. It's 90 proof.
The high rye bourbon. It's the mash number 2.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
See, John, I was busy doing something else, and John's telling me all this stuff, and I'm like,
And we went down this. There's a mash number 1 that's owned by Buffalo Trace, and there's a mash number 2 that's owned by Age&Age, which is a Japanese company, which is apparently part owner in the whole Sazerac thing. But so
it's hard to keep track.
Yeah. Well, that's why I have my phone sitting up here too, so that I can reference this, because it's this mash number 2 goes in. I lost it. Yeah, that's why I did this.
Technology.
Oh, there it is. Sorry, yeah. Better living through technology. It's the Rock Hill Farm stuff, Blanton's, Hancock's Reserve, and Ancient Age. Ancient Age uses the same mash bill, but it's not a single barrel. It's the only one of that group that's not a single barrel. They're very secretive about what this mash bill is. Everything's speculative, but the word on the streets is that it's probably somewhere between 12 and 15% rye.
So, anything else we want
Well, I
to
think we should try it, taste it, see what happens.
text Miss Lily?
There's already a lot of spice on the nose of that. A lot like licorice, anise. And probably cinnamon.
Oh my God. No matter what you're getting on the nose, when that hits your tongue, holy moly.
That's really
Yeah?
good.
Yeah?
Oh yeah, that's honey and cinnamon and the little toffee.
And a
There's
big mouthfeel.
Oh, it's a huge mouthfeel, but just a little bit of burn around the edges. Burn is really subdued in that, especially at 90 proof.
Oh my God,
It's not-
this is so good.
Not, seriously overproofed, but at 90, it's still a big whiskey. There's a little bit of that apple thing that I like. In that, yeah. In that front end, and the back of it's all like cinnamon and
It's a-
licorice and
It's all the big bourbon stuff. It's
Yeah.
toffee and it's vanilla and it's caramel. And, oh my God. The finish on this is just
oh, that's really nice. I mean,
so delicious.
yeah, this is one of the first ones I can think of where I'm like, okay, the burn is exactly right.
I just put in 2 drops.
I'll put it in 2. You were tight on that one.
I didn't want to bruise it too much.
Right. Yeah. Now, a little spice coming back down on the nose when I did that.
But now,
Oh, but it's bigger on the back end. The spice is bigger on the palate, less on the nose.
it got a little big on the back end of it, but I'm getting a little green apple up front.
Yeah, right.
John loves to talk about green apple when we're doing bourbons, but I do get it off this.
Well,
now
it's-
with a little water in it.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite things. Like one of my favorite bourbons is just famous for having that green apple thing, and when it freshens up and gets that little bright bite to it, I just dig it. Yeah, some of the licorice and even some of the cinnamon settled down, but there's a big peppery cardamom kind of food spice on the back of that now. It's still lingering with me.
I think I like this better without water in it.
I might too. I think it's a little, I think we may have knocked some of the subtlety out of it
Yes.
by adding the water.
Yes, and I lost all the toffee and
Yeah,
caramel and all that
yeah.
stuff on the back end of it.
Yeah, it's all spice in the back end after the water.
Yeah. So
There you go. Here's a hint.
our recommendation is do not put water nor ice
Correct.
in Elmer T.
Correct. Now, if you let it sit there before you swallow, get a little more of that toffee and kind of pancake syrup sweetness on the front of it. You let it sit there for a second before you swallow it, but it still lingers with all that spice in the back.
Yeah. With wow, that's remarkable. Usually when we put a couple of drops of water in something, it smooths it out a little bit
Yeah.
and takes away some of the harsher things out of it. But this, putting water in this added.
Right. I agree. I think there's one other one that we've done that we talked about dropping a couple of drops in there and it got harsh and
Wow.
it was less good, but be hard pressed to find out what it was. And it's still fantastic. It's just it's a more aggressive bourbon with water in it, which is really weird.
Indeed.
Well, thanks for sharing this.
Hey,
That's,
that's what pals do.
yeah, well,
Even though I don't see anymore, that's what pals do. We haven't seen each other in
2 months.
in weeks. Probably since the last time. Well, no, we've seen each other once between the last time.
Yeah.
Because I'm busy and he's busy, and it's just
I've
tough.
had life changes.
Yes, but
Here's to that. Here's to making it through the other side, guys.
so damn lucky. See you next time.